Yo, 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 what's up? Welcome back, Sober Experience. You know the deal. We are back. Yep. Hope you guys are doing great. I love this track. KRS, the teacher. Man, I love rap music. I just do. Anyway, welcome back, Sober Experience. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I don't even care if you guys like any of the stuff. Like physically like, hit the button. More importantly is if like you share the content. Or tell a friend. So I hope you guys had a fantastic week. I've been doing pretty good myself. Getting myself back on track. I'm never completely off the rails. I mean, I was off the rails a little bit, but I'm never 100% completely off the rails. Dog, I just had some chicken that I ordered from this place who is not a sponsor. What was the name of it? It's downtown Brooklyn. I think it was called like D's Fried Chicken or something. And Mr. D's Fried Chicken. Listen, man, and I ordered just like the regular fried chicken because I didn't know, they have some other options of like flavor or batter or whatever. And I don't like to fucking gamble with places I don't know. But next time, I'm going to have to try and gamble because the chicken was good. But, the batter lacked a little bit of seasoning. Maybe it's, gentrification. They're even gentrifying fried chicken bowl. So, that's going on. I told you guys I'm doing my pre whatever for TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, and I got my blood work back. My blood work is fucking phenomenal, Bo. It's blood work was good, and I guess I'm at that point in my fucking journey where like, I need to turn back the clock a little bit. So the T range is not low, but it ain't whatever. I think the range they said was like 250 or something to like 1100. And I'm at like 430 or 450. Which ain't it. That ain't it, And I've been back in the gym pretty good, exercising, and but still. Like, I think this is personally is the right time for me to make an attempt. And as long as this doesn't turn me into a motherfucking hound dog. No, it ain't going to do that. But as long as it doesn't make me into some kind of whatever, like an angrier person, I'm going to stay on it. And then once you get on it, you're on. That's it. That's it. That's the deal. Men's health. This ain't weightlifting competitions or, getting ready for the summer or any of that stuff. This is like, I've been crashing like in the afternoon all the time and like low energy and all kind of stuff. So it's all related. I haven't been sleeping good, but then when I knock out, I fucking knock out. I knocked out yesterday. My wife was sending my son a text or something. She's like, as soon as I'm done with this text, like, whatever, wink, wink. And I was just like, I just fell right out. And she got fucking mad. And that's okay. Either way, so that's where we're at. I've been doing good staying out of the fray as far as, like, the politics stuff goes and all the extra curricular activities with fighting with people in my head and in my heart and on this earth. And that's it. That's the deal. I got to just try and stay focused and stay disciplined above everything else, and that's where we're at. So last week's episode, we were talking, we were still doing some work on step one, which is, we're still like a third of the way through. If you haven't listened to last week's episode, you can just go back and listen. And we're doing the steps piecemeal through the NA step working guide. It's really dope. So we're going to continue on. This, I'm going to read a little bit and then maybe talk about it a little bit, about what I used to think, what I think now, and where I'm at now regarding all this stuff, and maybe it can apply. And what's the say? If the rules don't apply, let it fly, right? That's the thing. Okay, so now it talks about denial. Denial is a part of our disease that tells us that we don't have a disease. When we are in denial, we are unable to see the reality of our addiction. We minimize its effect. We blame others, citing the too high expectations of family, friends, employers. We compare ourselves with other addicts whose addiction seems worse than our own. We may blame one particular drug. If we have been abstinent from drugs for some time, we might compare the current manifestation of our addiction with our drug use, rationalizing that nothing we do today could possibly be as bad as that was. One of the easiest ways to tell that we are in denial is when we find ourselves giving plausible but untrue reasons for our behavior. Yeah. I think, well, here's what happens. Like, I think there's two things for me. Like, when I first, denial means that I know what's going on and I'm unwilling to accept what it is. That's what denial means to me. And, but besides denial, there's fucking delusion, right? I was delusional for a long time. And that's the difference. Delusion means I am in full flight from reality that I have no clue of what reality is because I'm so wrapped in my own self that I can't even comprehend anybody else, And I think that's the difference. So there has to be places in my life where I'm in real denial about, what's going on. Whether it's relationships with people that I love and, like the situations that I have, like I was saying, I think last week with like some of the people that work with me, I've been going through this transition with my wife because this is the part of my life where, I have the most difficulties. And she was saying that like, not that I have this savior syndrome. I tend to take on other people's problems. It's one thing to extend a hand of help. It's another thing to, try and really absorb all of the stuff that is not yours. And I have a tendency to do that. And she was just like, she's like, you want to, and she says stuff to me that's like triggering. And that's how I know that there may be a grain of truth. She's like, oh, you just want to be like the hero all the time. In every situation, you want to be the hero. And I was like, instead of like lashing out or, reacting, I was like, that's and maybe partly true. I spent most of my life in that delusional state, and I couldn't even consider anybody else. I can't even say most of my life, 45, I'd say half of my life. Okay. Because Yeah, maybe a little bit, less than half of my life, a third of my life, that I've been this new guy. So, what I'm saying is that, I was so far on the other side of the spectrum that the recovery process swung me to the other side. And it wasn't just like, oh, well, I'm just going to drink and do whatever I want and party with women and whatever. Like, that wasn't it. It was just in every thought and every intention was self-seeking. What about me? When is it going to be my turn? And that was like just how I was. I didn't have to learn to be like that. Like feel like I came out of the womb with like ulterior motives. I don't know. Just the way that I was, So I was in delusion, And now what's happening is that like my relationships with some of the people in my life, I tell my wife, I'm like, yo, like, I don't know how to be like in the middle ground. I know how to be like, listen, I will give you 100% or I will give you 0%. And the truth is that both of them are obviously wrong. So I'm like, yo, and I'm telling her and I'm honest with her. I'm like, I look at every opportunity that comes across my life, like, how can I help? And she's like, that's a great thing to have, but you help all the way to the fucking moon. And then when people don't listen to you, according to you, you get angry. Not when people don't listen, not according to me, it's very obvious. Like, I get resentful, I get angry, I get let down, I feel betrayal. I feel like I'm wasting my time with people. So it's really, I'm just trying to control motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Because she's like, yo, like these people, some of them are going to be how they're going to be, regardless of whatever you tell them. Because like you say, sir, until they're ready, they ain't ready. But that it affects everybody. It affects my emotional state, my mental state, my well-being. How much am I willing to let go of the control of trying to, control outcomes in my life, And that's the difference between denial and delusion, because I'm in denial when it comes to that stuff. Like, I don't want to believe, I don't want to believe that people want to hurt me. Either on purpose or as an incident or collateral damage of them being selfish, because like I don't want to accept that that's reality. Yeah. I just don't want to accept that because I think I'm worried that it will give me license to believe that everybody's out to get me, instead of just being like very even keeled. Yeah. And that's like full-fledged denial, because life is just life. And guess what? People are going to fuck you and people are going to love you. And sometimes it could be the same person. And that's, it's life. Let's get into some of these questions here. Have I given plausible but untrue reasons for my behavior? What have they been? That's like similar to, what I talk about when it comes to my kids or any kid. Well, they'll just tell you a lie that you can't prove or disprove, but it's highly unlikely. And since you can't disprove it, if you tell them you don't believe them, they get offended that you're calling them a liar. I haven't really done that. Now that I'm working on this, because my wife is, also, like I said, she's a big part of my life, obviously. But she's helping me through this because it's like, do you have to behave this way in this situation? And then right away I feel I don't like anybody asking me any questions. That's number one. I don't know the difference between I don't say not always, but many times my disease, which is the lower form of myself, does not understand the difference between somebody asking me questions and somebody questioning me. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem. So when she asks me questions like, yo, why are you doing, an example would be like with, at work, why are we paying this guy this way when he only worked this amount of hours or whatever? I was like, well, it doesn't always work out like that. If my guys, if they're done with their work, they can fucking go home. That's the deal. They can go home. So if the guy is done at 3, he goes home at 3. If he's done, nobody works past 4. It's, I learned, nobody works past 4 except for me. So if the guy's done at 4, then at least he'll be home by 5 and is able to, number one, beat a little bit of rush hour traffic, have some time with their family, whatever. So, but she's like, yo, like, if this guy's getting paid hourly and then some days he's only working 3 hours, I'm like, yeah. But in those 3 hours, what is he doing? Those 3 hours, he's saving me 8 hours. So it's worth paying the guy for the full day versus saying you only work 3 hours. So I'm not saying that I've been more honest with my responses instead of just like I would instinctively search for reasons to justify any of my behaviors. It doesn't matter what they are. And they wouldn't always be true, but it would be something that like somebody else couldn't argue with. Okay, next question. Have I compulsively acted on an obsession and then acted as if I had actually planned to act that way? When were those times? I haven't really been like that. I've been like that in other times of my life, but not right now. An obsession is like more than a thought. An obsession is an obsession. And I don't have a lot of those, to be honest. Yeah, I don't. Okay. Have I blamed other people for my behavior? Not wholly, but I like to delegate. You can call it blame. If I delegate accountability, this guy's driving around the vehicles, using as an example. Oh, my kid. They didn't do anything completely wrong, but like, I just got them a car, and the car was in their possession one day, and they got into a fender bend. They crashed the car, and they crashed the car, and I told them never to make a turn in the spot where they made that turn. I said, this is a very tough turn to make. Don't make this turn. I make this turn, but don't make this turn. So, So they crashed the car, and then whatever, I had to pay a bunch of money to get it fixed. And, the blame rightfully belonged over there. So that's like a good place to do it. Because I was like, listen, I told you never to do what you did, and you did it. So for that, this is what the penalty is. Versus, a situation where you know, I choose to get mad at somebody. Yeah. Well, I choose to get mad at somebody even though really it's my fault. You know? Like I set up the parameters for my company and then I let things slide that I shouldn't let slide. And then I get mad at them when they're just being human. Like, hey, you give somebody a little bit of latitude, it's very rare that they won't take it. You know? Then I blame them like it's some moral deficiency. You know, how dare they do this? How dare they do that? When what's the truth? I didn't want to have these tough conversations when the infractions first began, whether it's people that I work with, whether it's my dad and my mom or anybody else. I was scared to confront it then, and then it turned into something else, and now I'm just looking for somebody to blame. When the reality is that I didn't have enough faith that if I confronted the situation head on, that it would be okay. And I'm learning that, you know, with my middle kid. Same thing. I told my wife yesterday, I was very surprised. Like my wife was like, I don't know, she was just feeling sad. One day she was just feeling blue, which is fine. Not every, you know what I'm saying? Not every day's, what a Rocky said, not every day's going to be sunshine and rainbows. So I sent a group message and to the kids and said, listen, mommy's feeling a little bit low today. Can you guys make sure you're around? You know, my little one who's like everything, they're, you know, they're like, yeah, as soon as I'm done with class, I'm going to go straight home. The other one doesn't even, just goes about their business. Goes to hang out with their girlfriend or whoever this girl they're playing footsie with is for the whole weekend. Right? And then comes back Sunday, whatever, which is fine. I was like, oh, so you just forget about the bat signal that I sent? No problem. Then they sent me a message yesterday because, you know, again, I let people believe their own delusion sometimes because I know what it's like to be delusional. So they're going for top surgery in like January, right? They're asking me now, hey, can you take care of me at night after my surgery is January 15th? And I'm like, dude, you are like, let me see, September, October, November, December, January. You are like 5 months away from this surgery, but you're so matter of fact excited that you're asking me if I can take care of you the week after. You know, they're like, yeah, mommy can take care of me during the day, but at night, I need somebody around. They say, she's giving me the whole rundown. I'm like, bitch, number one, I've been a dad a long time. Number two, I've been with people who had surgeries. Like, I know, like, you don't have to break it down to me, but I just let it rock. And I made a joke. I was like, yeah, what, like wipe your butt? And they were like, no, but I shouldn't lift anything heavy. And I said, okay. I said, but by the way, just to be fair, I asked you for something to help out when it came to your mom, and you fucking didn't do it. You decided to hang out with your homegirl for the whole weekend. So just so you know that that's a fucked up thing to do, and that we should take precedent over anybody or anything else, the people who take care of you, because look who you're asking to take care of you now. I could have just been like, yo, why don't you call that girl to take care of you? Which is something like maybe my parents would have said. Or my dad, not my mom. My mom would always take care of me. But like, yeah, my dad would have been like, oh, you fucked up friends? How come, where they at now? Why don't you call one of them, you know? And I explained that to them that they were extremely selfish and then whatever. And they just said, okay, I understand. It was shocking. Where like at another point, like I almost didn't even want to send that text to them to confront them, because I was worried about the backlash that's going to come. They're going to send me a 5-page text, or they're not going to say anything. Then they're going to go to their mom, and be like, look at what fucking this guy said and blah, blah, blah. What is he keeping score? Is this like a... And I'm like, no, this is how life works. It's relationships. It can't be one-way street. And I'm learning how to practice that in every other area of my life. You know? Okay, next question. Sorry, I went on a little rant there. I don't even know if that was answering the question. Have I compared my addiction with others' addiction? Is my addiction bad enough if I don't compare it to anybody else's? Yeah, my pain is my pain. That's my pain. My pain is my pain. Your pain is your pain. I'd be grateful that I have my shit and not your shit sometimes. Even when, like I said, when I was talking about the testosterone, the T, like I have a friend of mine that he went on it and it turned him into like a super like horn dog or whatever. And he happens to, aside from alcohol, drugs, whatever, he has an issue with women, you know, that gratification that, you know, somebody touches you and then you matter, even if you had to pay them to do it. You know what I mean? And so he went on it for a little while, and then he called the doctor and he went off. And he was like, listen, this stuff is very helpful, but it's not for me because it turns on some part of me that I don't want to be turned on. And I respected that. But I also said, I don't have that problem. Not the way that he has it. Yeah, I just don't. I love my life. I love my wife. Life. I love my wife. Yes. But I love my life more than I love my wife. Like, I don't want any fucking problems. There's nothing that some other person could ever offer me that would be worth the devastation that I would lay at my woman's feet. And I'd be the one crying there talking about I'm sorry tomorrow. And she would be devastated and crushed. Yeah, there's nothing that's worth that. I don't ever want to feel that kind of, that regret that I did something. Motherfucker, I barely dodged a couple of those bullets already. So I'm like, yo, no way. If she's going to be crying or being upset, it ain't going to be because of that or because of me. That ain't it. You know, that's why if she decides to go through my stuff, I don't fucking mind. I don't even feel violated. I do for like maybe 30 seconds. And I'm like, yo, whatever. She asked me today, she's like, why are you taking cabs from Bath Avenue, which is where I live. In Bensonhurst, Gravesend, Bath Beach. She's like, why are you taking them from there, not from the crib or whatever? She's like, it's been on my mind for 3 days. First thing I say is like, dude, you are fucking... In my mind, I'm like, oh, man. Well, I know what it's like to have a thought and have that thought stick in the hopper for 3 days, especially a fucking negative one. Those are the only ones that stay. The positive ones, I either think are not true or they're fleet. Anyway, I was like, I take the cab from Bath Avenue because I go around the corner to the store because I live near... I live within one block of 1, 2, 3, 4 24-hour stores, bodegas, whatever. So I'm never too far away from getting what I need. So I go in the morning, I get like an energy drink or get something, and then I'll take a cab from there on those days that I need to take them. And that's the truth, and that's nice. But yeah, I compared my addiction to somebody else's the other day because of that. I was like, yeah, it's like I don't have that problem. I have other problems. I don't have that one, Okay. And my next question, am I comparing my current manifestation of my addiction to the way my life was before I got clean? Am I plagued by the idea that I should know better? Not so much. I do. This is the difference between denial and again, delusion. I should know better, but There's things that I do know better and I still don't fucking do it. There's like a brick wall in front of me being responsible in different areas of my life. You know, I could always be more responsible financially, 100%. That's the first thing that comes up is financial responsibility. And my wife brought that up too because she's like, yo, listen, it's not just you with this blind spot. She's like, every dollar that I misspend, I am hurting this house. And we're not in any pain in any way. We're always going to be in a little bit of discomfort, but we're not in any pain. So, yeah. I know what it's like to be impulsive in those ways. You know. And it's not that I should have known better. I know better. How many times do I have to learn the same lesson? Next question. Have I been thinking that I have enough information about addiction and recovery to get my behavior under control before it gets out of hand? Yes. This I know. That's the problem, is that I know. I know what to do and I know how to do. But doing and knowing is not the same thing. And that's where God comes in for me, where higher power comes in, where being brave comes in, and I'm not brave in every area of my life. Okay, next question. Am I avoiding action because I'm afraid I'll be ashamed when I face the results of my addiction? Am I avoiding action because I'm worried about what others will think? I'm not avoiding action as much as I was. Again, with confronting people in my life to be more fair to myself instead of overextending myself. So, yeah, I'm not avoiding taking action, but it's very slow and it's tough. And, it can't be like, new year, new me, bitches, and then just start spraying the whole fucking corner. But it's like one instance at a time. I'm learning how to say no. That's a big deal, learning how to say no. And that's the stuff that I'm working on. How do I say no? And it's not even saying no to them. It's saying yes to myself. You know what I mean? Damn. I'm just skipping ahead here a little bit, but this is a lot of stuff. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, so denial. This is where we're going to end off today. Sometimes they say ignorance is bliss. Because when there's ignorance, when you don't know, you can claim that you don't know. And that's a good, beautiful place to live. But when you know, and it's 2 + 2 is 4, but you're mad about it. Man. And then now you have to do something. You have to be something. You have to be better. I can't wake up and be I didn't know that eating like shit was going to affect my mental well-being. All the chemicals and sugars and the highs and lows and the crashing from all that stuff. I can't make pretend that I don't know. You know what I mean? And that's the tough part because, when I ring that bell, it's fuck it. Like anything else. Those are the only bells that I really have, is the food bell. Not so much the porn bell, but, the food bell. The food bell. And then I'm making a list and then completing everything on the list. All the constructive things. That's important. And it's grueling because all of it is self-care and self-love. And I could run away from myself by helping other people and overextending myself to other people. And that's what my wife is talking about, that hero syndrome. But heroes don't get mad at the people they're trying to help. So there's that. Like and subscribe on all podcast platforms. Don't forget to share these episodes with your friends and family. I love you guys, and we'll see you next week. Peace.